What I would say to them is to go home. They still have the opportunity to self-deport, to go back to their country. Right now, we're buying plane tickets for people to go back to their home countries. And also when they land, we give them $1,000. And then they get the opportunity to come back the right way. That is still the very best option for everybody who's in this country illegally. And that would be my hope, is what they would do.
That, of course, was Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem at Nashville International Airport. She was there to promote what she calls a self-deportation plan, offering migrants $1,000 cash and a one-way ticket out of the country. That money, of course, is paid by you, the taxpayer. Unsurprisingly, her visit sparked immediate backlash. Tennessee State Representative Justin Jones, part of the Tennessee Three, who made national headlines for protesting gun violence on the state's House floor, was barred from entering the event. It's important to note that Nashville International Airport is part of his district in his state. He says he came to demand answers for his constituents after ICE arrested hundreds of people from his district earlier this summer, whose names have not yet been fully released.
Every other event we've had here in the airport, we've been allowed as representatives. This is the first time I'm being told as a House representative that I'm not allowed to attend an event. I'm here simply to support veterans, and also because I want to get answers from my constituents who've been harassed and who've been brutalized by ICE here in Nashville. I just want to know from the Secretary, where are the people of my district?
Jones said he received prior approval from airport officials to attend the press conference, but DHS Communications Manager Thomas Wackman said that was a mistake. Tennessee State Representative Justin Jones joins us now. Representative, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I want to start right there. You talked about what you were hoping to talk with the Secretary about, these people that live in your district that have been snatched up and possibly not heard from again. Do you have any update from any kind of communication with the DHS Secretary or her team?
Well, good morning. It's great to be with you all. Unfortunately, on Thursday, Secretary Noem came to my district, House District 52. The Nashville International Airport is in that district, and chose to do what she does best: waste taxpayer money with this stunt, this spectacle, this photo op. Instead of being a serious secretary willing to engage in bipartisanship and answer questions. In the beginning of May, 196 members of my community were snatched by masked ICE agents in the dark of night during racial profiling traffic stops in a joint operation with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. A majority of those people, DHS has admitted, were convicted of no crime, charged with no crime, had no criminal record, but yet they want to paint everyone as being criminal, when what is criminal is this violation of equal protection under the law. What is criminal is racial profiling. What is criminal are these constitutional attacks that are targeting communities of color, as my district is the most diverse district in the state of Tennessee, and that's where the majority of these raids and arrests and mass harassment of traffic stops occurred. And she refused to answer, as she does best. Instead, she chose, her press secretary, her communications director, chose to have me removed preemptively, even though the Secret Service, the Metro Police for the airport, and the airport authority staff allowed me into the press conference, as I usually come to events in my district, including in the airport.
Representative Jones, it's good to see you again. You're not the only one who's been asking questions about people who have been arrested by ICE in Nashville, and no information coming out about most of them. A reporter tried to ask the Secretary a question along the lines of what you just pointed out. Let's watch that, and I'll ask you about it on the other side.
The Trump administration has specifically targeted the worst of the worst. The individuals that we are going after are those that are violent criminals, those that are breaking our laws, and those that have final removal orders.
My audience is predominantly Latino, so they kind of every day say they're fearful because a lot of people have been targeted based on their skin color, not necessarily.
That is not true. And so that has been another false narrative that has been put out there in the media that I absolutely want to throw back at you and say that is absolutely false, and don't you dare ever say that again.
So, Representative Jones, the reporter said, our viewers are mainly Latino, and this is what we're hearing on the ground. This isn't some made-up narrative. This is the lived experience of people in your district.
I mean, that's exactly right. But I think one of the most asinine things she told the reporter, she said, "Don't you dare say that again." I mean, think about the audacity. Think about the arrogance, the hubris to tell a reporter not to do their job and ask questions. I mean, this is a reporter who works for one of our Latino news stations here and who has been on the ground talking to families who've been terrorized, people who are coming back from an overnight shift, their partners snatched by these mass ICE agents, a mom snatched by these ICE agents. These are not criminals. These are members of our community, people who are part of our district and of our Nashville, diversity and way of life. We represent, again, the most diverse district in the state of Tennessee, and that's what makes us a great place to live. But Kristi Noem comes here trafficking in the politics of fear and division, trafficking in the politics of racial profiling and harassment, because that's all she knows. When we live in a country where we welcome white refugees from South Africa, yet demonize brown people as being an invasion from the border, that tells you that this is about a politics that is no stranger to my state, a state in which the KKK was founded. And now we have another mass group coming out, some of whom we don't even know if they're ICE, because even to a lawmaker like myself, they've refused to identify themselves, refused to show badges. When I went out doing my oversight capacity in my district saying, "Sir, do you have a badge or anything as you're making these traffic stops," and telling people to open their trunk, they shined a flashlight in my face and sped off and refused to even answer questions or be recorded. That's not what I think of law enforcement. And law enforcement should be able to identify themselves, show a badge, let us know that our people are not being kidnapped and trafficked, because now we still have yet to get answers from where they ended up. And the reason I went to the Secretary's press conference is because at the state level where I serve, they told us, the Commissioner of Safety for our state said, "We don't know. We gave them over to ICE, and now we don't know what happens to them. So you have to go ask the federal government." And that's what I tried to do on Thursday. And instead, I was preemptively told that I would be arrested as a lawmaker for trying to ask questions of a appointed government official who's supposed to be, somebody who serves in a bipartisan role and serve all people of this nation because they're being paid for by taxpayers.
As we've seen, this administration is not afraid to arrest lawmakers, so we're glad that you're safe there. The Tennessean wrote a story on July 17th. ICE has released names of just 9 of 544 migrants arrested in Nashville. They confirmed the arrest of 544 migrants in the area through operations that began May 2nd. The agency provided limited information on 15 individuals detained and released the names of 9. What are you hearing from the families in your district about what they're thinking about where their loved ones are?
I mean, I think people are thinking the worst. I mean, people are literally terrified where you have people being told that they've been lost in the system, and we don't know if people are being deported to other countries. Now we know that people are being sent to foreign prison camps. They're being threatened with this cruel, they like to call it alligator Alcatraz, but I call it crocodile concentration camp because it's an extrajudicial place to detain people without due process, without their rights respected. And we're selling merch. I mean, this is a very sick nation right now. And I think what we have to say is that the Secretary was only willing to release 5 names out of hundreds because she wants to portray everyone as criminal. But we know that the majority of people being arrested are not criminals, have never been charged with a crime, are law-abiding citizens. And yet they want to say that you are not welcome here because of the color of your skin and because you speak another language or you come from somewhere else. Well, Noem does not sound like a Cherokee or Choctaw or Shawnee name to me, which means her people came from somewhere too. And we have to remind these folks that they are too immigrants. And so if they want to really, lift up this politics of terror, take down that lady in the harbor and put up something different, because this is not a nation that's welcoming to all people anymore or to immigrants. And what I'm so terrified of is that these are people who literally were crying in our office saying, "We don't know where our cousin is. We don't know where our daughter is. Can you get questions?" And we're trying to get answers from elected officials, and instead, they refuse to give us accountability. And so I want to say that we deserve answers, we deserve accountability, and we deserve a whole lot better than Kristi Noem in this nation.
Tennessee State Representative Justin Jones delivering a sermon